Welcome to another exciting episode of Modeling in Advanced Steel. Alright guys, so in this episode we are going to be adding vertical bracings. That means bracings on the sides of the portal frame. So when we take a look at our model, those are the locations where we need to put our bracings, and that's on the middle bay and the middle bay as well. 2 on this side, 2 on that side as well. So in this episode as well, you're going to learn how to use the tool create model views. So what this tool does is when you have finished setting it up, it then isolates everything outside that box. So it's a handy tool if you want to localize your model and add your still section on just a localized view, so that with excluding and other distractions as well, so that you can have a more clear model. And also it also lightens up the model because everything else will be hidden whilst you are doing your modeling. For example, if you're doing a mezzanine, right, you can hide all other still sections and you'll be left with your flooring only. So that's one of the advantages of using this tool. So where is this tool found? You go to your ribbon under Project Explorer, you click the drop down arrow. As you can see, you've got that button that says create model view. So you click that and this tab opens up. So we've got 4 options here, and then in this tutorial we're going to be using this one that says 1 point in UCS. As you can see, it says UCS. That means it is UCS dependent. That means that your XY plane should be along the view that you want to see. All right, so from there, let's sort out our UCS. So I want my UCS, all right, to be in this view. So for my UCS to be in this view, I just locate a middle point that approximated the middle point of the grid. You will notice why. You can either put it at any point along the grid, it doesn't matter, but I prefer my things to be central, working from the center going outwards. So let's move our UCS. So we're going to say UCS, enter, and then I'm going to put my UCS in the middle of this tie beam. All right, then my X is along the grid line and my Y is going up. All right, this is how I want my create view to my model view to come out. So from there, I then close that, then go to Project Explorer, sorry, then create model views, then 1 point in UCS. Then from there, click that point, then it says give name to this box. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this is along grid line 11. So we're going to say this view is going to be created along grid line 11. So the name is going to be grid line 11. So let's just give it a name. So the name is grid line 11. All right. Now you have to select the view direction. You want to view it from the Y, you want to view it from the negative side of Z or the positive side, or you want to view it whichever direction. So in this case, you want to have a view from the positive side. That means from outside to the inside of the frame. So we're going to select that arrow there, not the UCS, but these arrows. That's what you select. So we have selected the arrow along the Z. So let's say enter. So now we have finished setting it up. All right. Now, as you can see, it has been created centrally to the elevation or to the point where our UCS is. All right. So now we want to see only elements about this middle bay where we are going to add our bracing. So what do? Select the box and then click the node and drag the node to the side. Select the node as well, click the node to the side. Select the node, click the node up just above this tie beam, because our bracing is going to be connected to this tie beam and this level as well. So let's do the same. We go downwards. All right. So if you want to see the properties for these connection for this connection view, you just select it and then right click and then go to advanced properties. This is where you will see the properties of that view box. As you can see, along the Y, that is our dimension. Along the X, that's our dimension. Along the Y, that's our dimension, and along the Z, that's our dimension. So this means that this 1000 millimeters is the total dimension of the view box along the Z. But since the box is central to the view, that means that there is 500 millimeters on the positive side of Z and 500 millimeters on the negative side of Z. Hence, it's in central position. So that's with these dimensions. So you can change everything else, but in this case, we've got nothing to do with this with this tab, so we need to close it. So how do I then only see my elements only within the box? So you double click the box. That's the first option. Or what you can do is, let's just put everything back. All right, what you can do is you go to Project Explorer. As you can see, our model views, we only had levels before, but now we've got another model view, which is grid line 1-1. So what do you do in order to see grid line 1-1 elements only? You click the light bulb on grid line 1-1. As you can see, everything else has been hidden, or except the elements within the connection box. That's how you then activated. So to bring back everything else, you just turn it off. That's what you do. So let's turn it on. All right, let's put our bracing. So our bracings are marked F. Let's go to the legend, and under the legend, our bracings are diameter 114 by 5 thick pipe. Okay, so from here, I prefer to work accurately, so I go to advanced to palette and then switch on my 2D snap. You can switch it off or on, it is up to you. So I've switched on my 2D snap, meaning that everything that I'm going to do or add is going to be done on the XY plane, where my XY plane is. So I then go to 2D wireframe, and then let's add our still section. All right, so from the model, our still sections, our still bracings are at those elevations, those views. So from that node, okay, what is going on here? All right. I know what is wrong here. What that means that one of the levels is active. So whatever still section that we put is going to be between that level. So let's try and check. Let's go to Project Explorer. Let's go to working planes. All right. As you can see, we've got level 7.5 active. So let's turn it off. All right, from here, now everything should work just fine. All right, so let's just click that point there. All right, to that. All right, now it is working. That middle point there to the node. From that point to the middle of the tie beam, from the tie beam to that node. So that is what we need to do. All right, so from here, let's select our still section properties. So since I am under South African environment, right, circular loss section, then click the drop down, go to all. I'm looking for South African environment. That is SA circular loss section code. You can put UK or Australia depending on which country you're from. So from there, then we go and select our still size, and that is a 114 by 5 thick. There it is. All right, remember guys, material, you also have to add material, coating, painted or galvanized, depends on what the project spec says as well. Positioning is in the middle. Naming, there is none there. So naming, I am going to just say this is a beam. All right, then this level, we don't need to change anything there, or we might just simply leave it as it is. So all right, there's nothing to change from there. All right, so from there, what we need to do is let's just check. Okay, so there is one detail that we need to note here. One crucial detail that we need to note. When you are adding your bracings, depending on the project, on this project, sorry, not bracings. On this project, we are going to be using an 8mm thick gusset. So if you check on the steel structure, on the structural steel works notes, you will notice it should be item 8 where it says all gusset plates to be a minimum of 8 thick. So that means that the gusset plate that we're going to use is a minimum, is an 8mm plate, right? So when you're adding your gusset plate, if it's welded to a column or a rafter, the gusset plate should be central, depending on the project. But in this project, the gusset plate is centrally positioned either on the web or on the flange. So that means that we need to offset all the bracing by the thickness of the gusset plate, so that the gusset plate, since it is the one that is being welded to either the column or the beam or the rafter, can be central. So what we need to do is we need to offset these steel sections by 8mm, either to the outside of the frame or to the inside of the frame. All right, so this is what we need to do. Let's select those, right click, go to advanced properties, then go to position. So if you select about the Y, depending on the way your UCS is, as you can see, our Z is along, is parallel to the grid line or to the ground, and then our Y is going up. So if you change about the Y, all right, if you change about the Y, it's going to move these bracings up by that figure. So we don't want that. We want to move these along the Z. So we're going to go to the Z and then put our 8mm. As you can see, it has been moved by 8mm to the outside. So whether yours moves to the outside or to the inside of the frame, it doesn't matter, as long as you have offset this by 8mm, because our gusset plate is the one that is supposed to be positioned centrally to the beam or to the column. All right, so from here, let's close this. Now, let's bring everything back and then we mirror this to the other side. So let's just view everything else. Let me just turn off 2D snap, minimize this. All right, let's put our UCS back at its original point. All right, so this is what we now have, guys. So let's just go to realistic view. All right, so this is what we now have. We have our two bracings at that position there. So let's just mirror these to the other side. Select them, and then mirror. Select the middle point of that grid line, and then that's our mirror line, and then no. So this is how we add bracing. So guys, please continue, do some practice, add on the other bracings on connecting to these. All right, and then mirror them to the other side as per the design, as you can see. So these bracings are going straight to the middle of the column, intersection of the column and the tie beam. So this intersection between those two, that is where our bracing is going, to the middle of this tie beam here centrally. So let's practice, add those, and then I will see you on the next episode where we will add roof bracings.